My parents, as you know, were very dedicated throughout their lifetimes to NCSY and to the OU. And I know that they would be very, very happy to know that even in their passing, they are still able to have a positive impact on NCSY. Their hope was always that NCSY would go on and on and on for generations. I hope that they can see from heaven that that everything is going as they would have hoped and dreamed.
Joe Macy and Julia Macy had an affection, a passion for NCSY for almost half a century. They were synonymous with New England region.
As somebody who went to regional events in New England once in a while, I remember trying to find Julia because I knew she was there. And everybody said, just go look in the kitchen. And I said, what do you mean look in the kitchen? I said, and they said, that's where Julia is. And this very regal woman was in the kitchen directing whatever was going on there in terms of preparation for the meals for Shabbos and for the Shabbaton. Nothing was beneath her dignity so that the teenagers could have the best food possible. And their children and grandchildren became NCSYers and are continuing their legacy.
My grandparents loved NCSY and what NCSY stood for. As survivors of the Holocaust, that they came from a very rich Jewish upbringing that was filled with Yiddishkeit and Judaism and the love of Hashem. And at a time where so much was taken away from them, they took the opportunity to build it back up. And they did that through the vehicle of NCSY. Throughout my entire life, I witnessed firsthand the dedication and devotion that my grandparents had to the organization. They loved when my siblings, when my sisters and myself participated at an NCSY event, and they would also show their displeasure whenever we missed out on an NCSY event, understanding that it was a great opportunity for us to grow.
NCSY was always a really big part of my grandparents' lives after the Holocaust. When they came to the United States, to Fairfield, they had to really start from scratch. They had lost so much of their family, and they decided to make the Fairfield community and the greater New England community their new family, and they did that for their two daughters, but also for all the children in the synagogue that they helped build, and then for the whole New England region, and I think we all benefited from that. I was a regional president, and my involvement with NCSY was really because of my grandparents, and I'm so happy that I was able to be a part of it. It did so many great things for so many people.
My grandparents have known each other their entire lives. They grew up in a small town called Tunyug, which was in Hungary, and their families have known each other forever. After the war, my grandparents had lost so much, not only from their own families, but the sense of community, that tight-knit, close community. NCSY really served a purpose in their lives to rebuild that community through the children.
Hetty and I moved up from Memphis, Tennessee in 1983. We met Joe and Julia, Mr. and Mrs. Macy, and brought our kids up with the hope of being involved in junior NCSY. Joe and Julia called Mrs. Weiss, who was then the regional director, and set a date in 2 months for a junior Shabbaton so that we could accommodate what we thought would only be 30 children. The Macys, through their wonder, organized for us a Shabbaton for 112 children. That was their magic. The magic was not just giving money to NCSY, but cooking in the kitchen. They wouldn't let anyone come into the kitchen. Mrs. Macy made every meal for this group of kids. She was astounding. And he just quelled from working with her, watching her, and leading this community.
New England NCSY would not be where it is today without the incredible support of the Macy family. It's been a real inspiration for me to hear countless stories about the legendary Macy family and what they have done for the New England region of NCSY. And today, because of them, there are thousands and thousands of inspired, fulfilled Jews around the world.
On behalf of my entire family, I want to thank all of you, NCSY, the OU, all the staff members, all the volunteers who've worked so hard on making this evening and this tribute so beautiful. I look forward to continuing to work with you and perpetuating their memory and their goals for NCSY. And I thank you and wish you all a good evening.